Good evening, everyone. Engineer Pat 5290 coming to you with the final Q&A of 2021. I have to say thank you to everyone who participated, not only in this one, but for all of the ones we've done this year. Um, I have been very blessed to have your support for this series, and I'm really glad that some new users have come in, and even some of the existing users coming back and asking more questions. I'm very, very pleased. I just would like to say happy holidays and happy new year to you. Um, so let's go ahead and kick off the final one for the final Q&A for 2021. Trainman 1993 and King of Love Train return for more. Great to see you guys again. Um, Trainman 1993 is asking the 259E or the 726. Have to go with the 726. Favorite breakfast to eat? Ooh, this one's a good one. I like me some scrambled eggs, some bacon that's fresh out of the pan, and even some home cooked biscuits and some honey, and to top it off with some ice cold milk. That's one of my favorite breakfasts. And I also like the same thing with sausage as well, and even ham and eggs on the side too. It's pretty darn good. Do you like Thomas and Friends? I watched Thomas and Friends for a couple of years in my life. I think I watched it when I was about 3 to about age 5. So, and then of course I got into the model trains and even in the big trains. Um, Favorite fruit? Ooh, I love bananas and grapes, and I also love kiwi, cantaloupe, honeydew. Oh yeah, I've always liked a fruit salad because fruit salad you get a mix of everything: blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Oh yeah, I love most any kind of fruit. The DM and I are rare, or the EJ and E. I'm more familiar with the EJ and E. I just love the orange locomotive with the J stamped right on the side of the locomotive. I've always liked that railroad. So thank you, sir, for your questions. King of Love Train asks, favorite steam locomotive, favorite movie, and favorite TV show. Favorite steam locomotive, J611 without a doubt. Movie, well, it depends on the season. If it's Christmas movies, A Christmas Story with Ralphie, that came out in 1983. Um, The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, that came out in 1994. And White Christmas with Bing Crosby, which I believe came out in 1954. So, three of my favorite Christmas movies, and one of my all time favorite movies, The Sandlot, has to be the first one. Favorite TV show? Well, it depends on the era. If you're thinking maybe 1960s, Andy Griffith Show. 1970s, Happy Days, starring Ron Howard and Henry Winkler. Uh, in the 80s, it was Knight Rider, A-Team, MacGyver. A lot of good TV shows then. Um, Nowadays, I mostly watch the older stuff like In the Heat of the Night, but for some of the newer stuff, um, I'm kind of picky and choosy on the newer shows, but one of the ones I like, Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck, who played in Magnum PI, which is another one of my favorites, as well as Rizzoli and Isle starring Angie Harmon, who played Abby Carmichael in Law and Order. Uh, Very, very, very fine shows right there. So thank you, sir, for your questions. Stephen Casey Railfan comes back in. Good to see you, buddy. The Western Maryland or the Norfolk and Western. I like both of them because not only of their paint schemes, but for the routes that they had. How would you feel if you got an ex-ATSF war bonnet went out railfanning? I would be pretty excited. The drawbridges or swing bridges? Swing bridges are the most unique. Drawbridges are cool anyway, but swing bridge is the most unique. Thoughts on the 7400, the pink ribbon unit? That's the breast cancer unit. I'm glad Union Pacific did that unit because it shows awareness of breast cancer because that is a pretty aggressive cancer. I actually know somebody who was a year younger than me. She's 24, and about a couple of years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I recently saw her, and her hair is starting to slowly come back. So that hit right there for me. And I know several other people that I know breast cancer survivors. So guys, cancer can take out somebody in a heartbeat. It doesn't have to know who you are or where you're from. Cancer is cancer. So guys, count your blessings every day. Good question, Steve. Thanks. Least favorite foul horn. You've heard while Railfan. Least favorite fouled horn. A fouled P5. I mean, a completely fouled P5 or a completely fouled P3. Um, so, yeah. So now M&Ms or Hershey's. Oh man, I love me some M&Ms. I love me some M&Ms because let me tell you something. The regular M&Ms, I can get addicted to those in a heartbeat. I love M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms are good too. When it comes to Hershey's, cookies and cream, the white chocolate with the chocolate chips in there, the crackle, of course. Mr. Goodbar is a good one, just to name a few. And of course, everybody likes Reese's. That's distributed by Mars. But I think Mars is now owned by Hershey's though. Um, Favorite articulated steam locomotives. I got to remember which ones of them are out there, but one of the most unique are the Cav Ford locomotives that Southern Pacific had. Very, very unusual locomotives, but they were cool. Um, CN SD70M-2 or the Dash 8M. I like both of them. The Dash 8Ms are unique. Those are the big barn units. Those are really cool. The M-2 looks really good in CN paint. F40PH or the F59PH. I like them both for various reasons. Amtrak had the F40PH. It looked very well. It looked very good in Phase 3. The F59PH, I like those because not only Go Transit had some, but NC Dot has some. Like I see on Amtrak 73, 74, 75, and 76, as well as 77 and 78. So I like those for that reason. Um, which Conrail era is your favorite? Early Conrail was very colorful with different paint schemes. The can opener scheme was pretty cool. I've always loved CRQ. I don't. It's just the appearance of that logo. I know it was CSX inspired, but I always liked Conrail quality would just stamp right above that line and going right through the queue. I've always liked that paint scheme. The can opener scheme was pretty. It looked good on most any locomotive, but I've always liked CRQ. Amtrak 160 or the 108. 160 I have seen. 108 I haven't seen. I was really glad that they came out with that 108 with that phase 6 is what they call it. It looks pretty good. Now the 160 they actually nailed that. It doesn't look as good on a Genesis as it does a Dash 8, but they went back and that scheme is spot on. So uh, so two very unique paint schemes there. Thoughts on pumpkin pies? Look at, I love me some pumpkin pie. Favorite kind of pastas? I like spaghetti and I also like fettuccine, as well as the rotini noodles and also the little bow tie noodles is what I call them. NYC or the Southern Steam locomotives better? I like both of them. I like both of them. Well, first of all, for New York Central, I love it because of like the Joshua Lionel Kelma 5344, which is a J1E. I also like the Southern steam engines because of 4501 and Southern 630 and 1401. Thoughts on Western Maryland 1309? I'm glad to see it running. I did see it when they were in the early stages of getting it restored, and I'm really glad that Western Maryland Scenic Railroad has got that thing up and running. Which Tom and Jerry elbows do you like between those two? The Milky Wave or Slicked Up Puff? Slicked Up Pup. Slicked Up Pup is one of my favorites because it's got Spike when he is really upset. And man, he gets Tom pretty good in that one. I really like that episode. Now, have you ever caught any patched Conrail units before? Oh man, this is going back to my childhood. I probably saw some. I probably saw some. But let me tell you, I miss those Conrail units so bad. I miss them painted Conrail blue. I really do. Um, so that's going back to my childhood. Favorite Tom and Jerry characters? Oh, this is a good one. Obviously, everybody likes Tom and Jerry. And I liked Spike and Tyke. And one of Tom's best friends was Butch. Butch was hilarious, especially when Butch brings over the camera and does all the footage of the time when he went fishing and everything. That I think was Butch's finest episode. I've always liked Butch, but Really good cartoon. If you have not watched the original Tom and Jerry's, y'all, please watch it. It's definitely worth the watch. So thank you, Steve, for your questions. Transcontinental Railroad and JJM3 Railfan Productions both chime in. Good to see you, gentlemen, again. It's been a hot minute. Uh, Transcontinental Railroad asked a very unique question. What rail infrastructure improvement project in the U.S. are you most excited about if you have one in mind? I really haven't had one in mind. I would just love to see, the country try to repair what we have and try to preserve some of its history because a lot of the infrastructure that's out there, some of it dates back to like the early 1900s, maybe even the early 20s. Just to name a little broad scope there, but I would love to see the history preserved on the railroads. Favorite railfan spot from JJM3 Railfanner? Suffolk is one, Windsor's one, Wakefield, because all these spots are unique, and I especially love railfanning in North Carolina, especially in Rowan County. How many years have you been railfanning? I've really been railfanning for about 10 years. I've only been on YouTube since 2015. So thank you, gentlemen, for your questions. And Steven Sane Rail Productions finishes all off. It's great to see you again, buddy. How was Christmas? Christmas was nice, relaxing, and enjoyable. If you were to go back to any railroad, any era of railroading, what would it be? Oh, definitely the 70s when you had Southern, NNW, Conrail with the high hood locomotives coming out and everything. Oh yeah, and even the Santa Fe Blue Bonnets and everything. Even the 90s were good too with the return of the Santa Fe Classic War Bonnet paint scheme. Which of the three Berkshires do you like the best out of the ones listed? I am most familiar with 2716 and 765. 765 because Wick Moorman got that restored. The 2716 because I've been following that one as well. That's a really good product. 1225 is very pretty too, but I'm not as familiar with that one as I am with the other two. So, guys, it is with that we conclude the 2021 Q&As with December's Q&A. I would like to thank all of you for participating in this series, and January's Q&A prompt is just right around the corner. So, let's kick off 2022 with a bang, and I'm glad we ended 2021 with a bang here. So, just remember, guys, please remember to smash the like button, drop that comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world, not only to me, but for the future of this channel. So, I want to put a big thank you out there to all of my supporters on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I'm really glad to have all of you as followers as we go into the new year. So many blessings there. So anyway, guys, that concludes the Q&A responses for 2021, particularly December. And I'm very grateful that all of you have been continuing to come back and ask questions. I greatly do appreciate it. So thank you guys for making this series possible, and we will continue with 2022, and let's kick off 2022 with a bang when the Q&A prompt for January comes out. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Thank you all, and may God bless.